أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اذكروا الله ذكرا كثيرا وسبحوه بكرة وأصيلا. هو الذي يصلي عليكم وملائكته ليخرجكم من الظلمات إلى النور. وكان بالمؤمنين رحيما. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اذكروا الله ذكرا كثيرا وسبحوه بكرة وأصيلا. هو الذي يصلي عليكم وملائكته ليخرجكم من الظلمات إلى النور. وكان بالمؤمنين رحيما. تحيتهم يوم يلقونه سلام. وأعد لهم أجرا كريما. يا أيها النبي إنا أرسلناك شاهدا ومبشرا ونذيرا. وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا. صدق الله العظيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. subhanahu wa ta'ala for enabling me to complete the Quran. Then I would like to thank my parents for their encouragement and giving me the opportunity to learn Islamic studies. My learning journey started off with home learning, then to madrasa and then online lessons. We don't live very close to the masjid, therefore attending madrasa every day was proving to be very difficult alongside my school education. So online classes have been an amazing benefit to myself, and I am greatly thankful to my uncle Hafiz Shahid for introducing me to my online teacher Ustad Alina. I feel blessed to be taught by such a good, caring, patient and knowledgeable teacher. I would like to say thank you to Ustad Alina. I really enjoyed all my lessons and learning and hope to get much more knowledge over the coming year. I am so happy and honoured to be invited here today with my other sister and would also like to say congratulations to everyone.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يشكو الله من لا يشكو الناس. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever does not thank people has not thanked Allah. So first of all, I would like to thank my teachers and my parents for all the hard working and dedication, and especially my mom who would bring me to mosque even when the weather was bad. Whether it was raining or snowing, she would take us all to mosque in the bus. She instilled the love of the God in my heart since the beginning of my life, such as Jazakallah. I would like to thank everyone who had helped me and supported me on my journey throughout my studies at Al-Aqsa. I feel this is the biggest gift any parent can give to their children, as we children should be very grateful that our parents guided us through this path, and indeed this is a greater gift from Allah Azza wa Jalla. My next biggest gratitude is to my teachers. Without their love and sincerity, I would have not been able to accomplish this journey. May Allah reward them in this dunya and elevate their ranks in the akhirah. Your dedication and hard work has not gone unnoticed, and I am truly grateful for what you have done for us. I am so grateful that I had the opportunities to study under yourself. You are more than just my teacher. You are a light that guides us on a journey. You have been and will remain our mentor and source of direction throughout our lives. And to conclude, I would like to say the ceremony marks the end of one chapter in our lives, but also the beginning of a new and exciting journey. Once again, thank you everyone who has made this possible, and congratulations to my cousins. May Allah bless us all in the future. Assalamu alaikum.
Oh Allah, send peace and blessings upon you, beloved, the best and perfect creation that you have created. Alhamdulillahi, munshil khalqi min ajami, thumma as-salatu ala al-muqtari fil qidami, mawlaya salli wa sallim daiman abadan ala habibika khairil khalqi kullihim. Look at the heavens and the earth, the shining sun and the moon, and Allah made all of them. He made them all just for you. No zameen, no zaman, tumhare liye makin o makan, tumhare liye zameen o zaman, tumhare liye makin o makan, tumhare liye junin o juna, tumhare liye junin o juna, tumhare liye bane do jahan, tumhare liye look at the heavens and the earth, the shining sun and خير الخلق كلهم مدينة جليا بكر سونے دارباب میں مدینے چلیا میں مدینے چلیا میں مدینے چلیا میں نو پاؤ بلا دے ہاو میں مدینے چلیا میں نو پاؤ بلا دے ہاو میں مدینے چلیا وہاں مدبالیا گویا بڑے بڑے سخیا دین بتایا بڑے بڑے سخیا دین بتایا نالے مل گیا وہ خواب میں مدینے چلیا نالے مل گیا وہ خواب میں مدینے چلیا بیگن سونے دادا باب میں مدینے چلیا بیگن سونے دادا باب میں مدینے چلیا او بھی آنکھیں میں ہاں چلی اے بھی آنکھیں میں ہاں چلی آ بھی آنکھیں میں ہاں چلی سریا میں نو بھی سوار میں مدینے چلیا سریا میں نو بھی سوار میں مدینے چلیا بیگن سونے دارباب میں مدینے چلیا بیگن سونے دارباب میں مدینے چلیا مدینہ 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 اب تو بس کہیں تو نہ ہے کہ مدینہ دیکھوں اب تو بس کہیں تو نہ ہے کہ مدینہ اب کعبہ ہو گیا میں مدینے چلی جو مدی میں مدینے چلی ساقیا میں پیرا میں مدینے چلی مصطبے خود بنا میں مدینے چلی میرے آقا کا دم ہوگا پیش نظر چاہیے ہو گیا میں مدینے چلی اب تو بس یہی دو نہ ہے کہ مدینہ دیکھوں اب تو بس یہی دو نہ ہے کہ مدینہ دیکھوں اے شجر اے حجر تم بھی شمس و قمر دیکھوں دیکھوں ذرا میں مدینے چلی ان کی مینارے پر جب کرے گی نظر کیا سوئے آئے گا میں مدینے چلی اشک تمتے نہیں کعبے جمتے نہیں لگاتی ہوئی میں مدینے چلی اب تو بس یہی دو نہ ہے کہ مدینہ دیکھوں اب تو بس یہی دو نہ ہے کہ مدینہ دیکھوں
إن الذين يتلون كتاب الله وأقاموا الصلاة وأنفقوا مما رزقناهم سرا وعلانية يرجون تجارة لن تبور. Surely those who recite the book of Allah and establish their prayers and give in charity from that which Allah has blessed them with, openly and in secret, then surely they are people who are hoping for a reward which will never fail. The ulama have said that the recitation of the Quran is of two types. The first is understanding what the Quran is saying, and the second type is just the recital, and the second type is what I will be speaking to you today. The first hadith I bring to your attention is in which the Prophet ﷺ said, خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَهُ. The best of you are those who have learned the Quran and has taught it to others. The second hadith is in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim on the authority of Sayyidah Aisha anha that the Prophet ﷺ said, الماهر بالقرآن مع الصفوات القوام بالبراء. He who recites the Quran proficiently will be with the noble, righteous angels. And as for the one who reads Quran and struggles with his recitals, then he has two rewards. One for reciting the Quran and one for the extra struggle that he puts in. The third hadith is also in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, narrated by Sayyidina Musa al-Ash'ari, that the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, the example of the believer who reads the Quran is the example of a succulent whose fragrance is sweet and whose taste is delicious. A believer who does not recite the Quran is like a date fruit which has no fragrance but has a sweet taste. So from this hadith we understand the clear virtue of the one who reads the Quran and makes himself busy with reading it over the one who doesn't read it. Also the Prophet ﷺ said, اقرأوا القرآن فإنه يأتي يوم القيامة شفيعا لأصحابه. Read the Quran, for surely on the day of judgment it will come as an intercessor for his companions, those who made themselves busy with reading it. The last hadith I bring to your attention is in which the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever reads a single letter from the Quran, he gets a good reward for that, and the good reward is multiplied tenfold. I do not say that Alif Lam Mim is one letter, but rather Alif is a letter, Lam is a letter, and Mim is a letter. After hearing these narrations which are clear in the great virtues of reading the Quran, it is important that we ask ourselves how is our relationship with the Quran and what we can do to make our relationship with the Quran better, and how often do we read the Quran. The Quran is that book which gives us guidance. We need to connect back with the Quran. Allama Iqbal Rahimahullah says, गर्दस कुरान हमने ना बुलाया होता, ये ज़माने में ज़माने ना दिखाया होता, ओ वो मुअज़्ज़िज़ थे ज़माने में मुसलमान होकर हम ख़्वाह हुए हैं तारीख़ कुरान होकर. They were great back in the days because they were Muslims. We are finished unfortunately because we have left the Quran. We only read it once a year in Ramadan. They were great because they held on to the Quran. My dear listeners, please hold on to the Quran. Read the Quran every day, even if it's one page a day, and that will give you guidance, and inshallah, Allah will guide you. May Allah Azza wa Jalla give us the ability to read and understand the Quran. May Allah Azza wa Jalla give us the ability to follow in the footsteps of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. To conclude, I would like to thank my teachers who have helped me throughout this journey, and my parents for their continuous support, especially my father who has planted the seed of knowledge even before I started studying madrasa. Allah preserve them all. Jazakumullah, Abu and Mom and my teachers.
MashaAllah.
Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah rabbil alamin.
MashaAllah.
And Imam Mullah Ali Qari rahimahullah, he mentions that in this hadith where the word khayra is used, he said that this doesn't just mean goodness, it means a great amount of goodness.
SubhanAllah.
Allah wishes a great level of goodness for you. What will He do? Yufaqihu fi din. He will grant such a person the understanding, the fiqh of religion.
Wow, subhanallah.
So now you may ask, okay, you mentioned some of the fadail. What should we do? Where should we start off from? How do we go about this? I would advise for the Aimma of Masajid, for the ulama, the shuyukh, the teachers of madrasas, ideally one of the starting points where you can begin from is the Arba'in Nawawi, the famous 40 hadiths of Imam Nawawi. This, I believe, is the starting point, something which parents can relate to, something which teachers and students can relate to. And the reason why we find, by the way, 40 hadith, compilation of 40 hadith, is due to the famous hadith of the Messenger of Allah, alayhi salatu wasalam, man hafidha ala ummati arba'in hadithan في أمر دينها بعثه الله يوم القيامة في زمرة العلماء. That the person who memorizes 40 hadiths on the matters of the deen, what is the reward of it? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will raise such a person on the day of Qiyamah amongst the ulama. So I believe this is the starting point, is something which the students can relate to. As parents themselves can gain translation of this, and something you should go through with your children as well. Speaking of the rank of the ulama, so like I mentioned, the person who memorizes 40 hadiths, he will be raised amongst the ulama. It's mentioned in a hadith that the ulama on the day of judgment, while the people are stopped, people will be stopped and then they'll go into Jannah. The ulama will be said to them, stop here, wait here. Why? It will be said to the ulama, take whoever you want with you to Jannah as well. This is the fadilah granted to the people of knowledge. To the extent it's also said, "Udkhul min abwab al-jannah shi'ta," that the ulama, it will be said to them, enter through whichever gate of paradise that you want. And people will come to the ulama, they will say to them and remind them, do you remember in the dunya we brought you water to the wudu? Because remember in the past we didn't have the water system that we have today. Even some parts of the world is still the case. People will come and remind ulama, do you remember we brought water for you to do wudu? And they will remind them of the favors. Why? Because the ulama will have, they can take an unlimited number of people with them to Jannah. Again, this hadith points out the importance of seeking ilm. And I would like to conclude, I would like to finish by mentioning a few things where some people believe that if we seek knowledge of the deen, that means we have to leave the dunya. Some people think if we are involved in dunya, seeking knowledge, the job of the knowledge is the ulama. This is not the case. This is a total misunderstanding. If you look at some of the greatest people in the history of Islam, in the history of science even, there's a famous book, 1001 Muslim Inventions, I believe it's called. This book speaks about how some of the most greatest inventions that we have today, if you look at what led to these inventions, these things being invented, whether it be in relation to maths, science, astronomy, even these clocks, these watches we have, it was the Muslims in the past who had a big contribution towards this. It's something which we are not aware of. They did not have this understanding where they thought Islamic knowledge, worldly knowledge, the two are separate, no, we can't do both. No, this wasn't the case. So we need to get out of this mindset where everything is one or the other. I will speak about a few examples of this as well, inshallah. I would like, before I do that, there's a famous quote of Malcolm X and Malik Shabazz, the famous activist from America, passed away in the 1960s, I believe. He mentioned that education is the passport to the future. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. So what is the passport to? It gives you entry and access to certain things, to certain benefits. And likewise, this is the case with ilm, education as well. It gives you that passport, that access to the future, something to bear in mind. And I would like to mention, just to finish up, inshallah, coming back to the point of where we think, oh no, it's either deen or dunya. This is not the case. I myself know of a doctor who lives very close, not too far away. He works from 9 to 5 at the hospital. After 9 to 5, he attends his Dars and Islamic classes, and now, mashallah, he is in his 10th year. In his 10th year as a GP, and he's 45 years old, he has children, wife, house, you name it. So this excuse we have that, no, I'm with the word, that's not the case. And likewise, this mentality we have, that's it's either deen or dunya, that's not the case, you can do both at the same time. So once again, I would like to congratulate Hafsa, the teacher of this institute. I would like to congratulate the children for this great accomplishment. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make them great ambassadors of this deen. May Allah grant them success in the deen and dunya. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make them a means of continuous charity for the parents and the loved ones. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. Subhanahu wa ta'ala reward them in the best of ways in this world and in the hereafter. This, without a doubt, will be a means of continuous charity for them. We learn from the famous hadith, إِذَا مَاتَ الْإِنسَانُ إِنْقَطَعَ عَمَلُهُ إِلَّا مِنْ ثَلَاثَةِ أَشْيَاءٍ. But when a person passes away, the deed comes to an end, the actions will come to an end, except for three things. What are the three things? صَدَقَةٍ جَارِيَةٍ أَوْ عِلْمٍ يُنْتَفَعُ بِهِ أَوْ وَلَدٍ صَالِحٍ يَدْعُو لَهُ. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ said that three things still continue to benefit a person even after that person, whether it be man or woman, passes away. The first of which is continuous charity. The second is knowledge, which benefits people. And the third thing, which is very relevant to today's gathering, وَلَدٍ صَالِحٍ يَدْعُو لَهُ. A pious child who continuously makes dua. And no doubt, whether we remain in this dunya or not, if we do the tarbiyah of our children in the correct manner, with each recitation, each word that they recite of the Quran, each good thing that they do, no doubt this will indeed benefit the parents as well, inshallah. I would like to speak today about something which is relevant to everyone, whether it be the adults or the children, and this fits in quite well in relation to the tarbiyah of children. And that is the importance, the fadilah, the virtues of ilm, of knowledge. This is a key component of success. Whether we success in society, whether we success in relation to the tarbiyah by children, in knowledge is something which you cannot do without. I have never heard of anyone who lacks in his knowledge and he's been successful in doing tarbiyah of his child. Likewise, the most influential people we have known of throughout history, one of the common factors which we see amongst all of them is what? Their ilm. They were experts in their respective field. So when we speak of ilm, we can split it into two categories: religious knowledge and non-religious knowledge, which you may otherwise refer to as secular or worldly education. In relation to religious knowledge, of course, this covers your salah, your fast, your soul, the rights of the husband, the rights of the wife, the rights of parents, the rights of children. All these things fall into this category, and this is something which I wish to focus on in today's speech. As mentioned before we go on to try and influence and change others, whether that be as a parent or whether that be as a teacher, it's important that we ourselves are equipped, we have the tools which we need. And one of the tools is what? Knowledge. Knowledge. We see often, unfortunately, it's the case that many people out there, whether it be on social media platforms, whether it be in an institute, we have people speaking about things which they are not qualified to do. Which is why it's important that if you are going to speak about a certain matter, if you are thinking about doing the best you can as a parent, you equip yourself with the knowledge you need in order to be successful. It's common sense, and yet you'll be surprised at how many people they don't actually think through this process. But it's something which is very important. And the lack of this, in actual fact, causes harm even when you are trying to do good. So you may have good intentions, but if you are not equipped to do that, you will of course cause harm and damage. For example, if I wish to carry out surgery on a patient, I may wish good for that patient, however, I'm not qualified to do that, which I'm not. Although I am intending good, I will eventually cause harm. And likewise, the same applies to you as parents. If you haven't thought about your strategy and that link and connection you have with your children, you may intend good, but you may end up doing harm in the end. Which is why it's important to seek knowledge within the various domains and aspects of society. And if we wish to be people who are successful as leaders, as parents, it's very important to have knowledge, and the reason for this is this will also strengthen our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we see proof of this in Islamic history. What better example to give than Sayyidina Umar bin Khattab radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. When you have ilm, this will strengthen your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As a result of this, you will try to do best with those around you. Why? Because you are aware that you will be questioned about your relationship with others, whether that be with your children or the community or those under you. When Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he spoke of how even if an animal, a sheep, was to die at the bank of a river, what did he say? لَظَنَنْتُ اللَّهَ أَنَّ اللَّهَ تَعَالَى سَاعِدِي عَنْهَا يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. It's that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask me about that sheep that died at the bank of a river under my leadership. If Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu ta'ala is worried about being questioned about the sheep that died at the bank river, we as parents, are we not going to be questioned about our children?
Allah.
Something to think about. Which is why I would encourage parents, even if you are not a parent, you are a youngster, tread on the path of ilm. This inshallah will help you throughout your life in various aspects, inshallah. Coming on to speak about some of the fadail, some of the virtues of ilm, I would like to point out a few things from the Quran. I would like to begin with the famous incident which we find in Surah Baqarah. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He addressed the angels. And what did He say to them? إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. He said to the angels that I will appoint a Khalifa, a deputy, a vicegerent on planet Earth. Now, when the angels heard this, they did not object to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but they were surprised. They said, قَالُوا أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا مَنْ يُفْسِدُ فِيهَا وَيَسْفِكُ الدِّمَاءَ وَنَحْنُ نَسْبِحُ بِحَمْدِكَ وَنُقَدِّسُ لَكَ. They said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will you spread mischief, will you create the one who will spread mischief on earth, whereas we are here to glorify you and praise you? Remember, at this time there were no humans on planet Earth. So why is it then that the angel said, are you going to create someone who is going to cause mischief? This was based on their analogy, their qiyas, their understanding of what they had seen. Because before humans resided on planet Earth, the jinnat used to reside on planet Earth. And they would cause mischief, they would cause fitna, they would cause bloodshed. So the angels thought, if this is what the jinnat are doing, and if the humans created, likewise, this will happen too. But the ulama mentioned when the angels said this, at the same time they were suggesting that we are more worthy of becoming your Khalifa. Don't need something green. As parents, expect the unexpected as part of being real. So the angels, at the same time when they mentioned this, they were also suggesting that they are more worthy of becoming the Khalifa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on planet Earth. Okay. Why? Because they were saying that look, the jinnah have caused mischief, likewise the humans are created, they will cause mischief. However, how did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala respond? He said, قَالْ إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. I know that which you do not know. And then what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do? He told the names of every single thing to Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wassalam. And the ulama mentioned this includes matters of science, okay? The reason for why things are created, the hikmah behind them, the description and detail of every single thing. And then what happened? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wassalam to inform the angels of the names of all these things. And as a result of the ilm of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam, the malaika, the angels, they were humbled. So what do we learn from this? First of all, the ulama mentioned one of the reasons as to why Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam, why he had fadila, why he was superior and greater to the angels, was because of his ilm. So this whole waqiyah, this whole incident points out the martaba, the rank, the station to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the importance He has given to knowledge. This is one of the first things we learn from this. And secondly, this also reminds me of the verse of the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that those with knowledge, those without knowledge, they are not equal. That those who have knowledge, are they equal with those who do not have knowledge? No. Likewise, again going back to the initial point I mentioned, as parents, if you are not aware of what's happening around you, you are not aware of preventive strategies of how to deal with the children, how to deal with the local school. We had recent Hafsa was involved in some of the incidents we had with RSC in talking schools. Again, it comes back to knowledge. Many parents did not know what to do. You should know the basics of your deen so that you can go to the school yourself and speak to the parents in the right manner. Say, this is our deen, you guys have your deen, this is our deen. We don't want our children to be taught about certain things in a certain way. Speaking further on the virtues of ilm, we find in the hadith of Ibn Majah, where the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that to learn one verse, one ayah from Kitabullah, from the Quran, is better than you offering 100 nawafil.
Allah.
SubhanAllah. If you learn one verse of the Quran, just one, this is better than you offering more than 100 nawafil, voluntary prayer. And this is something very important. Often, when it comes to Ramadan or special occasions throughout the year, whether it be Shaban, Rajab, so on and so forth, we often focus on nawafil, which is mashallah, it's a great thing to do. It has its own benefits and fadilah, you should do it. But at the same time, also paying importance to the virtue and the need for you to seek ilm as well. This has more fadilah. And in actual fact, it's harder for you to open a book or to attend a dars and so on and so forth. Which is why there's greater fadilah in this as well. However, in order for you to step on the path of ilm, for you to educate yourself as parents, there are difficulties. You will face difficulties, you will face obstacles. But at the same time, the reward, the ajr you will get is great as well. You find in the hadith where the Messenger of Allah alayhi salatu wassalam said, من سلك طريقا يلتمس فيه علما سهل الله له به طريقا إلى الجنة أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. That the person treads on a path of knowledge, the person treads on the path of knowledge, you as a parent, you as a teacher, you as an individual, you as a child, you as a student, what will happen as a result? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make easy for you the path to Jannah.
SubhanAllah.
The path to Jannah.
SubhanAllah.
And in the commentary of this hadith, Imam Nawawi mentions a beautiful narration. It's something which I personally feel very closely attached to. Imam Nawawi, the great scholar, one of the greatest scholars of Islam, in his commentary, Arba'in Nawawi, he mentions